Hello. We still have, I think, 1 minute to go.
Yeah.
So let's give everyone a chance to connect. Let me go here. Good morning to everyone. We will start in a minute. Okay, I think we can go. So once again, good morning, everyone. Uh, Thank you for joining me today to webinar number 8, which is R/slash compliance audits with 21 risk. And I hope you are so interested in it as I am, because we have a very special topic for today. So to give you a few uh, ideas. So for about the webinar for today, we have planned 45 minutes plus minus. There will be a Q&A session, of course, at the end. And yes, it will be recorded. It actually goes live now on YouTube and as well as LinkedIn, and it should stay there and will be available to for everyone to to view later if you don't have time now. So a few words about me. If you don't know me yet, my name is Marcin Ruta. I'm a power system engineer. I run my own company, Ever Power Tech and M Power Systems now, where we actually hire people. Um, we actually hit above 10,000 people following, so I think it's 11 now, which I really appreciate. I really like it because I see that you are interested in what I'm doing. And if you don't know, I think I'm not sure if I saw it before, but we are busy with electrical safety topics, power system studies, and consulting services, and across the EMEA region. And we have a special guest today, Martin Hald, and because this is a joint webinar. So, Martin, can you say a bit more about yourself?
Yes. Hello to all. My name is Marcin Hall, and I have been working in the insurance industry for more than 30 years. I've been working with some of the largest industrial companies in Scandinavia with international insurance as well as risk management. And this topic is also risk management. And I'm very excited to be here, and we are very excited to be partnering up with MR Power Tech in 21 Risk. It's a quite important topic. So what we are doing in 21 Risk is that we established the company back in, actually it was 2013, 2017, sorry. And we are doing risk management, enterprise risk management, insurance information values, risk mitigation, and a lot of other stuff, QEHS, environment, health, safety, and quality, standards such as ISO, BAT, Cyber, Arc Flash, and other electrical things. Actually, if you're doing something that works in Excel spreadsheet, you can automate and digitize it with 21 Risk. We have very large customers. Actually, the fourth largest dairy company in the world is using 21 Risk on a global scale, also with electrical things. And they, as you can see on this slide, they have a total enterprise risk management organization where we actually part of staffs in that. That's not because we're not doing consultancy, but we're doing the digital side of it and helping companies with that. So, and what we actually are able to do is deliver a very strong API that delivers real-time analytical data to all kind of stakeholders. That would be internally in your company. The C-level management will be able to see what's happening on a real-time basis, as well as external stakeholders such as brokers, insurers, reinsurers, and so on. So it's all about audit, empower, improve, and empower. That's our little goal to help you.
Thank you very much, Martin.
And you're
So
welcome.
that was the idea for today. So we get in touch with Martin with 21 Risk, and I found it very useful, especially for what I'm doing, and we'll combine it with the AFAS compliance audits. And I will tell you, explain you a bit more about it. So, idea was so what was the main idea behind it? You might ask. So, as a typical audit, I would say we collect the data, we collect all the non-compliance things, from the site visit and also from ArcFlash. So because I'm focusing on ArcFlash things now, electrical safety, and we convert it into information to keep it simple. And then we have all the actions for improvements, so we can delegate people. And that's what really 21 Risk was very useful for me. And it works like this. It's very simple, and I like to keep things simple. If you don't know already. So if you go without it, we go with the information, we go back with improvements, and then you go do it again and again and again. So we will show you how it works in 21 Risk and how it works with me, step by step. But before we go into it, I think I might remind you what ArcFlash is really about. If someone didn't want my previous webinars, you might have a look and go to my YouTube channel. It should be somewhere here on the screen. And here are a few recordings from ArcFlash accidents. So this is the industrial one on the main station here. It is really powerful one. And as you can see, it is completely destroyed switchgear. It has to be replaced almost entirely. So this is problem from insurance, risk, and safety point of view as well. The other video, which is very similar topic, during probably commissioning testing, again, some kind of accident, more human safety problem. And if you are in renovable business, you might refer to this as well. So to see like one section of the panels, probably on the connecting cable fault, well, definitely on the connecting cable, and it will keep burning. And it is a safety concern for us and also human safety. So just to give you a reminder about it, we expect during the arc flash, especially during the arc flash, we expect damage to the equipment, and you might take it as a granted that it will happen. Smaller, bigger. There are some solutions to fight with it, but it's not for today. There was another webinar about it, and you might see it will look like this. If you have, for example, connection to bus bar to the transformer, this is completely destroyed. Has to be thrown away and replaced. Probably this one as well. And the medium voltage switchgear, total loss. It might escalate a lot. So what you might hear like electrical fault is escalate from arcing faults and to the fire, and then you might have a total loss, which is not the thing anyone would like to have. So this is just to give you a reminder how dangerous it might be. But we are mainly focusing on human safety in this situation. I didn't want to warn you, sorry, but this is a typical injury that looks like after arc flash. This is right after the accident. So it doesn't look that bad if you might look at it, but if our body starts to heal, it looks much worse then. This is happening moments later, and it might go very bad. From legal point of view, if you are non-compliant, depending on the country, of course, UK is changed the rules a few years ago, and the fines are much higher. So this year there was two fines that I found on website. One was for BMM in UK. They got £1 million fine for an accident, actually, with the contractor subcontractor, and the other one was for the Cleveland Potash Limited, also in UK. It's not about the UK really, just UK traced it much better, I think, this year, and they got like £3.6 million fine for multiple violations. So this is crazy amount of money that you might fix a lot of non-compliance about before. And before we jump into the ArcFlash compliance audits, you might refer to ArcFlash risk assessment. So ArcFlash risk assessment is a thing that we are using to assess the risk, assess the hazard, and compliance audit is on top of it, just to check if we comply with everything we did. So all of those steps we have here, we will check, and I will explain it a bit later. So those are not the same things. ArcFlash risk assessment and ArcFlash compliance audit is not the same. It's just to highlight it. And 21 risk is very useful when you make a summary of a lot of our reports, and we like to show the results, show the data. If you probably would like to, in my feeling, drop the tool for 21, the platform for 21 risk somewhere in the hierarchy of controls for an FPA, I believe it will be in administrative controls, because this is a kind of high level compliance checking. It is applicable for everything here, but I think physically it will be here most likely. But I might be wrong on this. I will put it there. So what is ACFAS compliance audit? This is the main question for today and the main topic. So what I found out is that people have a lot of issues with assessing if everything was done correctly during the ACFAS risk assessment and all the process. And I did few of those for the corporate customers. So I thought, okay, let's make it in two status way. Before any work was done, so like you don't have any ACFAS study, we can do pre-audit, pre-assessment, so called. And after, when it's post-audit, it's a bit bigger. So my goal was to identify the gaps in electrical safety and AFAS compliance with attention to AFAS in my case, but it might be much broader. And for sites without AFAS study, it will be pre-audit, so we will verify what needs to be done, what is done and what needs to be done, where are the gaps. And for our site, it already had some kind of AFAS study in past. It will be post-audit where we'll just verify if everything was done correctly, and we need to find some gaps or non-compliance that might be improved or not, depends on the outcome. So that's the whole goal behind it. How it looks like. So for the post audit, which is a bit bigger than pre-audit, which I will show you on the website in a few minutes, I found, okay, let's explain this a bit more in details. We will not go very detailed in it because it is a topic for the next webinar, but simple, I drop it in this way. Like first block is review ARFAR study, because that's the main point here. So what I found, okay, let's check all the, select some few points, maybe a bit more than few, and verify the results. Technically, it is more engineering work, just to physically remodel, verify if everything is done correctly. This is especially valid if you have some Excel calculations. Verify input data. So physically, there is a site visit, and we collect some data from few points and check if the cable is okay, the settings are correct used in the model, if I don't know, transformer data is correct, and so on and so on. So we can verify those just to find out if something is not okay. Verify the scope of work. Sometimes there is a customer specification for it, sometimes not. If not, then we go with an FPA and IEEE 1584. You might check a list of deliverables for check. So if you have all the short circuit protection, selectivity, and so on done, and if you have any recommendations. So this is going according IEEE 1584.1. Study updates, so something technically which you can assess yourself. So if you have any major changes that was into the electrical installation, and this happened in the last 5 years, it means that you need to update your study and the results. And we just check if that's okay. And then of course the summary findings and reports. For second topic, which I see people have a lot of problem with, is AFAS PP and labels. So the labels is a bit simple because we just check if the installation is okay, if they are in compliance with scope of work or general requirements from an FPA. So if they don't provide confusion to people at the end. From AFAS PP is less obvious as far as I see. So we check if PP was implemented properly and selected properly, because I see a lot of issues when people start to buy PP. So they have all the results, but at the end they buy some class 1, class 2, or some categories where they have the study done with incident energy and so on. So just to check if this is compliant, so if we have everything done correctly, and at the end, if the implementation for staff is correct, so people generally know where they have to use those kind of PPE, why they have to use it, and so on. AFAS mitigation, if it was included, so we verify if there is any improvements in AFAS report, like if there were any recommendations to lower the energy, and what kind of recommendations. Well, as a out of hand, I can tell you, like, the recommendation when someone tells you replace the transformer, power transformer, now it means 3 years waiting for it. So this is not the best recommendation for improvement, I would say. It is also working, but it might be better. And we also check implementation progress. So if you have a plan for your improvements and you implement it, we check if that was implemented fully, because it makes a difference, technical difference. From AFAS training point of view, so it's important that people are trained. So we check if they've been trained at all, or there is a list of people. We might check electrical certification for people as well. So sometimes in most of countries it is required to have some electrical license. So if someone works as electricians or automation electricians or maintenance engineer, he need to have most of the time electrical certification, electrical license. So just to check if people are generally aware of what they are doing, and verify a list of people trained. Sometimes there are new employees that they've been never trained, but they are working. And then of course we do the summary. And summary is just like typically comments, overview report, list of non-compliance with recommendations, what to do with it, how to improve it. And at the end we have an audit report in 21 risk platform. And this is something which we'll be talking today mostly. So just to give you an overview what this means. Um, question is how to show it. So I can of course make a report. It's very nice. If you have multiple locations, it might start to get a bit tricky for someone on the high level to overview it and see the overall compliance of all the sites. So that's actually when the 21 risk is coming with the help to me. So we can have multi-sites overview. You can have a site related on action list. I will show you this in a minute with Martin. You can have a context with or people responsible for something and attach it directly with the reports, everything there, and expected cost. So why did actually I told you we have a post-audit and pre-audit. So in the 21 risk for a moment I dropped pre-audit, pre-assessment actually, the audit list, which looks like this, and we'll go through it. We'll not explain it now, to be honest, but just to go through the questions, I can say like I make it 9 questions, so you can do self-check. Like, do we have electrical safety plan? Do we have a single line diagrams? Do we have an AFAS risk assessment done? Like from overview, electrical safety, how old is it? Do we have, and there's a list of reports that's supposed to be in the AFAS risk assessment. Do you have any training procedure implemented in your electrical safety plan? Do you have any all the labels on your electrical panels? Uh, do you have any recommendation or at all? And if you have any listed personal protective equipment for your electrical works. This is very simple 9 list question. I think it's quite straightforward, and we can jump into. Let me just go here. We can jump into the tool. So if you go to the 21risk.com, you can sign in. You can go to the dashboard. When you sign in, you will see this. I already previewed because I was playing with the tool for the webinar, so you can see multiple locations here, not everything on the map. But I think Martin can go with me through this. So if you can explain a bit of the how it looks like what we have here.
Yeah, I can do that. I apologize if I'm not looking into the camera. That's because I have another screen at the side. So if it looks like I'm not looking at you, it's not correct. I am. This is the dashboard, as Marcin correctly stated. What you can see here is your locations on the left-hand side, and you have a Google Map view over all your sites, and a heat map on the right side, and you can see compliance issues at the top end, at the header. And you can see cost estimates and so on. And if we scroll a little down, then you will be able to see what's happening with the assessment. How compliant are you when you have run this pre-assessment model? Then you can see how compliant you are compared to it.
Yeah, and we can see across the multiple locations.
Yeah.
I think this is important to mention that this is the last audit, for example, for if I select specific location, I will see the specific location here. But if I leave it as it is, this is an overview for every site. And this is a, let's say last time, it might be 6 months ago when someone did an audit. And this is the status for today, which means it is in progress. We are fixing things. And as for today, we went from 48 to 24% in progress, and 37 was done. Now it's 65. That's what this thing shows, and I think it's good to trace overall. So if you go, I said I create something. So, but we will make it like a new one
Could
as an
you,
example.
if I could interrupt a bit, sorry. I think it would be a good idea to go to the library and show that there's a library with where your Arc Flash pre-assessment model is at the top on this screen. So you can, when you have your locations in the system, you can do the ArcFlash assessment. And then when you're finished with that, that's a report, and that report will be under the reports here as a finished, published, or a draft if it's not finished yet. And then when you have finished, then you will have when you're finished and publish the report, then all the things that are not in compliance will make an action, and that's what you have here. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And as I said, I prepared something because I play with it. There are some few functionalities built in, so I also would like to show it. So dashboard is just an overview, very interesting one. I think the easiest one to show. If we go step by step, we have a managed data. So we'll go with the example, but here you can see all the locations that I created because I have, let's say, 10 locations somewhere. We have a library, which is library of all the risk assessment models, so including mine. So you can find it here, but you can, as I said, you can enter anything you would like to. If you would like to check amount of left shoes versus right shoes or something like this, you can still do it here. It is very flexible tool, and I think it will be very interesting for everyone, like thermography or so on. So you can use. I think you can use your own language as well. There is no limitation. Only the overall dashboard is in English,
Yeah.
but the rest it might be, as you can see, is Danish. We have members. So members are just the people that we enter. So if we need someone that is important for us, not maybe not whole company, but few people here, we can just add them here. Let's say invite them. Report is, as Martin said, this is the reports I created for multiple sites, and you see some of them are published and some of them are not. So, for example, if you publish something, I cannot delete this anymore. I will need to have a admin agreement or allowance to delete published report. So, yeah, it is actually to prevent, you have published things, you cannot modify it anymore. We have a list of actions. So, a list of actions, I will show you how we do it, and it is, you can see, in done, not done, it's in progress, and it's still not assigned or not done at all. So this is quite, for me, it's quite simple and easy to manage. So let's go with it, and I'll show you an example how to go. So we have to find some new location. I will just make a new one so we can play with it together. Let me call it location, I think maybe 11. What we don't have, maybe Portugal. I think we don't have Portugal. Or maybe Lisbon. Lisbon, Portugal. Let's do this. I don't put any specific address, but it's just to show you that we will find something. So we create the location, and I'm working as more as a customer here, really as a client. So just want to show you how easy it is. So here, if we are here, we can have few options. So I can make this and create a new report. So let's do this, and you can start right away. So I can select a report I want. So for me is ArcFlash pre-assessment, or we can schedule it. If you schedule it, you can schedule it for someone in time, like schedule it for the next. I can schedule it for today. Let's go for it. I can select myself if someone has to be selected for it. Why not? And we can create it. So we create the report. Nothing is done yet. We can go to the report here, and we can see it is scheduled for the location 11 Portugal to the 8th of September. Before we go this, I'll make one thing. I can show you we can add some people here as well. So I can add, let's say, Portugal electrician. I think I said it right, PTPT. Let's call it the typical name in Portugal. I just lost it, but let's say, I'm not sure if I go correct, Javier. Let's say, I think it's more Spanish. Let's call it Ronaldo. We don't have to do any specific responsibles for it. You have multiple roles, so it might be auditor or view only member, full access. Keep it as a view only. For the locations, you have different permissions. So I'm not going into it for a moment. We don't need to have, but for the location we can select Portugal. So let's find it, and this person is assigned to the location Portugal, and we just click invite.
Yeah.
Okay, I just ran out. Okay, let's skip it because I went too far a bit with my
Yeah,
finger.
well, no, actually, it was because you said view only and you attached him, so he should do something, and he can't do that with the permission view only.
Okay.
Yeah. But it doesn't matter. I think
It
that
doesn't matter. I will select someone else for a moment. It's not important.
no.
I just want to show you that it will automatically highlight the person.
Yeah.
If you go to the report itself, we can click it, and okay, let's go for the location 11 Portugal. Make Flash pre-assessment. So let's go. So if we start, we can see this is the model what we created. I can write the comments. We can start as this is a new report and site never had Flash risk assessment, something like this. It's just a comment. So we can add people here. So you have a suggested, if I create it properly, you have a suggested for the location Portugal. But if we don't have it, we can take someone. We can take Mario from Italy, and you can take me. We can save them both. We are both participants. So we'll receive the information for any specific topics. So we go through the question. So if you go through it, and that's why you can do it yourself. So we can go to the question like, do you have any documented electrical safety plan or similar document? And you have an explanation what this is. So we might click it as not applicable, so we don't need this at all. And then this question will be grayed out like this. But in fact, sorry, I'm too fast. So you see it's missing. But let's say we click, we don't have it. So you see it's all red. And we can add a person. So I think we still need Mario. Sorry, I'm just clicking. And we might say that the Mario needs something like 500 euro to arrange it, and we can give him a time to the end of the month. And I can tell you that there is something called subtask. So if you go to the subtask, you can create subtask for every person, like here, that he might do something different. He might do something specific, like he need to ask someone, and so on, and also add the cost for it. Well, we might, let's say, delete it for a moment. We don't need it now. So do we have any facility analytical single line diagrams? Well, we might say, yes, we have. And we don't need to assign anyone to it. We might still add Mario, and we don't need any specific cost, but we can do €1 somewhere. And there's nothing to do with it. He might say just, we might like send it over for confirmation.
Can
And
I interrupt a
that's
second?
it.
Can I interrupt a second?
Yeah.
You didn't click yes. That's why they were still down there.
Yeah. Sorry.
So then they
Sorry.
don't. Yeah.
I'm clicking maybe something weird on my laptop. So the next one is, do you have any document alpha assessment? So we say no because we know that we don't have it, and now we can assign people to it. So probably there will be me. The cost, I don't know. I just dropped some 50,000 euro. Let's make it expensive. And we have end of the month, September. Oh, yeah, it doesn't matter really for a moment. And you see, it is going in progress. How old is this? So, okay, it's not applicable because we never had it done. Let me click again. Yeah. So we can grade it out. Do we have? We might say, okay, just for you to show you the difference. I might say, okay, we had something which is here, and maybe we have labels, and we are missing some of the things. So it will be again for me. This is included in the previous one that we'll be doing, and again till the end of the month. Let's say include in Flash report. And say like this. So just to show you an example, so you can see it on the dashboard later. Do we have this included? No, we don't have it. So we have to do something about it. Let's keep Mario here again, busy. Give him some 100 euro for it, and let's finish the end of the month. So implement in electrical work permit, for example. And I said there are a lot of. I click something. Sorry again. Here we are. So if you go next, 7. Do you have an electrical panels identified with the labels? No, we don't have it, and there is work to do. Uh, Labels. I'm just writing here so you can see some comments here. Normally we don't. You might not use it at all. And with 500 euro. Here, I'm just losing this. Okay. Do we have an action plan with recommendations? So for a moment, we don't have anything done yet. So we don't have an action plan to mitigate the energy below 1.2 calories. And this will be for me. We might, because it's normally included in the reports. So we'll give it some non-zero value. And the last one is, do we have any documented list of PPE? But because we never did anything before, we don't have anyone. So we keep it, we keep Mario busy with it. We give him some 4,000 euro to buy stuff, and make it again end of the month. Yeah. So he might need a comment, buy PPE after study. Then we are done. So we can publish this. Of course, we can go and review everything is okay, but let's say, let me go and publish report. So because we can publish it, and it's when you publish something, it means it's never cannot be changed. So publish report cannot be modified, but we create a lot of actions, and you will see it in a minute. So we are publishing. This is going online. I hope my connection will not crash. So that's it. That took tada. It took like what, 5 minutes, 10 minutes to do it. So if we go back, you can see the report is done. So we can go to the dashboard, and here you should see the Portugal location. I can select it, and you might see the overall compliance for the Portugal. And if you click for the specific location, so we see it's here. We see we have a 13% from average 54, and so it's below average company. We have some status for action status, and we see that we need to spend some money that we estimated like 21,502 euro, and everything is in progress. So we didn't really spend money yet. And here you can see the overall compliance. So let me show you this. Let me go here. So we have now created some actions for it. Of course, there are a lot of actions for a lot of locations, so let's filter it out. Let's find the Portugal. Portugal is here. And you can see most is for Mario, something is for me. So let's like, for example, say that we go on this one, we create the report. I can write description, report ready. I can technically attach the file with the report here. If we have any subtask, it has to be done earlier. So we said it's done, it's completed. You see, with all the log what someone did, and we might close it. And you see, this is done. So if I come back to the dashboard now, and we can go to the Portugal, you might see that the Portugal is now modified, and it's 25% compliance already versus the last audit. You can see. So now it's 25. And we spent some money already, so you can see that from out of 21 we spent 15, so we still have some 7,000 left. All the actions, this is estimation, of course, as I'm just guessing, but this is very interesting topic because you can see overall estimated amount of money you need to make everything compliant. Of course, it might vary across, but it's not. I think it's better. It's very good overview at the end. So you expect across multiple sites, and if you keep selecting sites, you will see that this is starting to change. And if I deselect everything, then we will see the overall compliance is 57%, which we have now. We have still some actions to do, and something is generally not assigned non-compliant at all. And you see the Poland was 100%, I did myself, and Norway, and so on and so on. We have Portugal, Turkey, and overall 57. And then you have different versions, but I'm focusing on my own for a moment. If we need to look something else here, I think that's pretty much it.
Yes.
There are a lot of other options, because I said this is very flexible tool, but there are a lot of other options that I think you might like much more than I'm using here. I limited this for IFRS risk assessment, of course. And if you have any questions, I think you might ask now. Am I correct? Because I think we finished on this, unless Martin, you would like to add something.
No, yeah, well, can you hear me, Marcin?
Yeah, I can hear.
Okay, super. Yeah, well, I would like to add is that this is one risk model, Flash Pre-Assessment. You can change the system to work with a lot of different models, checklists, and so on. And the visualization that you see, you can use that with different models, so you can have a compliance level across different models.
Yeah,
And
I think that's important to say.
yeah, and additional to this, we have a Power BI application in Microsoft's universe, where you can have different visualizations of it. And my background actually is one of our Microsoft Power BI apps. That's a template that everybody can use freely. So yeah, and I will just say that try to go to 20risk.com and try to move around in the system, and then definitely I think that it's something that's very good, and you're welcome.
Yeah. So let me shift a bit. We can go now to the Q&A session. So before we go to this, like I said, okay, that was the plan, my webinar. The next one will be for the DC systems, for the archives in DC systems, of course. I really encourage everyone to go to the 21risk.com, because you can play with the tool for free, as I understand. And you can sign it in and do what I'm doing actually now, and use it and see if you like it. As Martin said, this is very flexible, so you can write your own. That's what I did. You can write your own risk model and use it. So if you have any corporate risk models, so that you specifically for your own company, you can actually implement it there and use it freely as you want, and then share it with everyone else so people can see it. So definitely go here and use it. And for now, I think we can open now Q&A session. So it went approx 40 minutes. So I think we have now plenty of time for questions. So feel free, please use the chat, because I don't see LinkedIn now. I just going on the restream, and you have to write in the chat box so I can see your questions. So feel free to do it. And what I can ask from my personal perspective is to Martin, because I don't see yet any questions coming. So for example, if you would like to, you might say again, how much is the software to? Let me go. This is a good one. That was the question I was going to ask from Thomas. So,
Okay,
to purchase?
let me answer the question. The question is very good, and there are prices from €0 to a premium of €25 per month per user, and up to great enterprise solutions where we actually help companies doing a lot of these stuff, and that's of course a different ball game. So, but it is a SaaS company, software as a service, and you can log into the system without using a credit card. If you want to do things in the system, then you can, and you can see that on our website as well. then it's about I think it's about 25 euro a month per user. So it's very small. It's not a lot of money. But big companies use this kind of software for a lot of things. So, and that is on an enterprise deal with us. So, and I can say a big enterprise deal where we are delivering both development and interaction, and we are doing work together with company. It's from about 20,000 euro and up.
Yeah, yeah. So I think this is very typical in IT now, and in the SAS model. If I might ask, if there's any, so I think on the free version there are some limitations, of course.
Yes.
Can you say a bit more about it?
Well, there's a distribution thing. So if you want to distribute to other stakeholders externally and so on, then you need to scale up to the next level. But we have companies that work together with us that pay less 1,000 euro a year. So that's
Yeah,
from very small money to, of course, if you're doing enterprise risk management with 1,000 people working in the system, then that's another ball game. So,
yeah.
but very good question, Thomas. I hope that I answered it good enough.
Well, I think you did. Um, from my perspective, because I see then software is flexible, very flexible.
Yeah,
And I think you mentioned to me one that you also have this because I think I didn't show it to people, but there is a TSI, so you can collect all the information. And the main goal behind the software,
yeah.
partly main goal, is to collect data for the risk insurance and to allow people to go lower on the premium as well. So it's kind of also to save the money.
Yeah, it depends what you're using the software for, but you can use it to collect insurance values from if you have a big company from all the subsidiaries, and you can distribute the insurance values through broker network and insurers and so on. And if you do that together with what you're doing, Marcin, and all the other risk assessment models we are doing in 21 Risk, we have a lot of models that you can use freely when you have assigned to a 21 Risk. If you do that, then you get a very powerful tool to showcase your insurers that you have a very firm grip on risk assessment, and it's a longer discussion, but to put it short, when the insurer can see that the lack of risk assessment will drive the claims history up, then they take more money from you. And when they can see the opposite, which we are able to help you with, then of course this will drive your risk finance cost insurance as well down. So
Yeah, I think that that's something what we discussed before last month. That when I was approaching you, I also had the same thing in mind. That okay, if what I'm doing, all the ACAS risk assessment around electrical safety, and you can see this might lead to a lot of fines in industry. And if I can say to people, yeah, we go through it, you can make all the compliance audits and all the assessment and show it very easily to your risk insurance company that say, yeah, we comply with everything. We check with at least with the model that we have, and you might have a look if you agree with it or not. And if they will see, yeah, we comply with PPE, with models, with reporting, with everything, all is included, and you reduce the level of the hazard as well,
yeah.
and you might get some lower premium on your insurance as a reward. This is not clear, and I can say it straightforward. I don't know what kind of percentage of premium you might get to lower because this is not really structurized way. I don't think there is a clear answer to it.
No, there isn't.
Something
And
compare
actually, you can say that the insurance companies, they are calculating the premium looking forward. How do we expect the claims history to be for a certain company? And if you can showcase that you're doing everything to mitigate risks, then they need to allocate less money for future claims. So,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
it's not something we can put a percentage on. We have clients that have had huge reduction in insurance premiums, and some has had none. So it's very difficult just to put a specific figure on.
Yeah, but that was my feeling behind it. That at least it is a way to show it
Yeah,
very easily,
yeah,
and you can just because I think you can send the dashboard link so someone can actually see it as a guest.
yeah.
There was a maybe I can open it and
No, actually, as you did, you showed that you could have a view only access to the system, and
yeah,
that's actually what we are presenting the insurance companies for. They will have a view only, so they cannot mess around inside your data. And what's important to know here, when I said your data, is that it is your data. It's you're the client. You have the data. You have the ownership of the data. So it's not something that your insurer can take from you or anybody else. If you want to leave 21 Risk, then you will have your data with you. So
yeah. So it's only stored here.
it's perhaps too much of a tangent here, but if anybody wants to hear more about it, please feel free to reach out to me on my email, and you can see that, yeah, down there, image
Yeah,
at
yeah.
20.
You can catch Martin. So I didn't say it because technically you can make a schedule appointment with Martin if you would like to hear more about the
Yeah,
software about the service. You can schedule also a meeting with me. There's on my website. If you go to MR Power Tech, you can catch the schedule meeting with. Or I think I use the same tool as Martin on 21 Risk, so they look similar. I copied from him the idea, and
yeah,
it looks nice. And if you would like to hear more about it or have a specific question, feel free to do it. This is going live today, and I got a lot of other things doing, Martin as well. So if you like to get more details, just schedule the meeting and then you have a slot of your time and then you can go with it. I think this would probably the best way.
yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
I don't know if someone has, maybe I don't see questions, but I don't see questions here on Restream at least following to me. I can have a look if I missed something or not.
I think that we have answered the question.
I think so. So it's all is done. So no reason to drag it over. So I would like to thank to everyone that joins us today. Thank you, Martin, for joining me and making this webinar because I think it's very interesting topic and I like it specifically and I introduce it to my as a service as well,
Yeah,
and especially with use of your tool. So this is something what I planned for 2022 and I have it already. And if you have any questions about Flash compliance audit, feel free to contact me. If you have questions about the service or software as 21 Risk, visit the website. This is the easiest way from my perspective. Play with it and see how it works. I show you, I don't really play that much with it, and for me, it's very easy to do it. And if you have questions, like, it's a support. So I really encourage you to do it. It's very interesting and very easy, and I like easy things. And thank you all for joining, and thank you, Martin, for joining me today. And I think
thank
we
you.
wish you all the best, and we are all in touch.
Yeah,
So,
and keep safe out there.
yeah.
Bye bye.